next candidate for review this evening is Brad Johnson, and he is from Salida. When I was doing my homework about finding the candidates for tonight's show, I noticed that his name came up a couple of different times. So I'm going to let him introduce himself and the different offices that he is running for. Good evening.
Hey, good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Well, my name is Brad Johnson. I'm running for the Salida Sanitary District and for the Salida School Board. I'm currently a member of the Salida Town Council, and I managed to prepare a little bit of a speech here, so I'm going to go ahead and read that in the interest of time.
You have 5 or 6 minutes. Go
Great.
for it.
My name's John Bradley Johnson, and my friends in Salida just call me Brad. I've lived in the Modesto area most of my life, and for the last 14 years in the town of Salida. The first question voters ask me is, why would you volunteer to be on the Salida Town Council? And that's a good question, because in Salida, that's an unpaid position, and the meetings, while only once a month at 7 p.m., sometimes go as late as 10 p.m. And then there's always the 5 a.m. alarm clock for work the next day. Well, I say, there are many reasons to get involved with local government. One of the best reasons is to make sure bad things don't happen in your town. The first winter I lived in Salida, massive home construction was underway in new neighborhoods all around town. And we received 3 inches of rain in 24 hours, and many of the older neighborhoods, like mine, were being flooded by water running off the construction sites, and from a new storm drain system that was not working. Well, it turns out, Stanislaus County and the developers hadn't gotten around to the storm drain details yet. They must have been busy rubber stamping the permits for new cookie-cutter homes. Well, needless to say, the folks in Salida were up in arms about the streets flooding from curb to curb, and a few homeowners even had a garage full of water. It was a record turnout, and that was my first Salida Town meeting. I watched the county staff evade the questions from residents and could see the town council members were just letting them off the hook. Soon after this, I started going to the town meetings every month. I only wish that every resident would come to the town meetings at least once a year. At far too many town, city, and county meetings, it's only the government workers and their customers, the developers, that show up and get their voices heard. Well, I wasn't going to just sit back and watch this second-rate community theater act of government and community planning meetings come and go without reporting to my neighbors exactly what was happening downtown. What to do? Well, it turns out that was the same year I bought my first video camera for the family vacation. Back then, we also had a cable TV public access studio, and citizens could just walk into the public studio and get help making local television shows for broadcast over the local cable TV access channel. So I was going to all the meetings anyway. I might as well set up the camera in the back of the room and videotape the public meetings and help out my neighbors by bringing the meetings directly into their living room using cable television. It seemed like a no-brainer at the time. For the cost of a few blank videotapes, we could get more informed about what was being planned for the future of our own town. Sounds like a win-win situation, right? Well, it was a major victory and a win for the residents watching cable TV. Now they can keep an eye on local government and stay at home with their families on the meeting night. But it turns out not everyone was happy with the watchful eye of the public coming to all those government meetings. You see, this is the realm of the elite, the large landowners, the developers, the contracts of family members of county supervisors, basically the 1% type folks. They've been having their way with our future. Most of them realized that we have a right to use the media to videotape the meetings, but some of them fought back. I even got a letter from the Salida Sewer District telling me not to videotape their meetings. Well, the county district attorney cleared that matter up. The public has a right to attend the meetings. And I have, in fact, videotaped a few of the meetings. And after the Salida Sewer Board doubled and then raised our sewer rates again and again and refused to answer any of the questions from the public at these meetings, I thought it was time for me to run for that race and bring the camera to more meetings and straighten things out there too. So that's why I joined the Salida Town Council. And you can watch me on Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on cable TV while we straighten out our town of Salida. I ask for your vote for the Salida School and Sewer Districts too, so we can all work together for a better Salida. My name is John Bradley Johnson. Please vote for us.